I'm Veronica Swainson. I'm an occupational therapist, and I'm going to talk with you about returning to work or staying at work when you're going through cancer. A key thing is to reflect on your changing abilities, thinking about how the cancer and the treatment has affected your concentration. It may have had some emotional impact. Thinking about the physical impact, so the fatigue and also the physical weakness that you can experience. And then your spirit, your sense of self can change dramatically when you go through this process. And so it's really helpful just to reflect on what you might need to tweak and change as you're reflecting on yourself in the work setting. Your energy can really fluctuate from one day to the next, so it's quite a common experience. So there are things that you can do, and you can be at work even if you are experiencing those fluctuations. Talk with your boss about what you're experiencing and see if you two can come to some sort of adjustments or solutions to the problem. Plan carefully and think about the reasonable adjustments that will help you to be at work. So one of those adjustments is looking at the time that you perhaps either go to work or come home from work, or the amount of time that you're working. So some bosses will let you do a shorter work day for a while you're perhaps going through treatment or as you're returning to work, so a graded return to work. Think about the times when perhaps you're tired. So perhaps you're tired in the morning and it might be better to start work later in the day. Thinking about the travel that you do as well. Some people that I see, they travel in on 3 trains and actually perhaps in that sort of difficult phase, that busy phase of their illness, perhaps it's useful to utilise a cab service. Thinking about the activities that you're doing at work. So when it's a day where you're more tired, perhaps doing some office-based work, and then, when you're having a good day, using your energy to do some of the heavier activities, so some of the more kind of moving and handling type activities. Another aspect which is really helpful is to think about the environment that you're working in. So physically, it's worth thinking about what equipment's available. It might just be having a really nice ergonomic chair that you can sit down in the office in that makes you more comfortable and makes the workday easier. If you do sort of labour type work, it might be thinking about something like a trolley to help you sort of move heavier equipment around rather than trying to carry it yourself. It can be really tricky managing that balance of getting to all your hospital appointments and still being able to deliver your work and the work hours that you need to do. Lots of hospitals now offer after-hours appointments or weekend appointments, but also many bosses are incredibly generous and supportive and allow you to just go to those appointments in your work time. Some bosses will allow you to, say, work from home if your appointments are actually close to home. So there's options, and it's just about discussing it with your boss and seeing what's going to work for you and for the team. It's worthwhile reading your company sickness policy, but it's also worthwhile knowing that you, as a person with cancer, are covered under the Equality Act 2010. So you have increased rights for your employer to provide you with reasonable adjustments. Seek support, both within work but also outside of work. There are specialist occupational therapists who can come into your workplace and do an assessment and support you and your manager around thinking about the reasonable adjustments that are available. Your HR department might be able to provide support. If your employer doesn't have an occupational health service, then your GP can be really supportive and provide you with a fit note, which is a basic guideline on your needs at work. Another option is your treating team, your physiotherapist and your occupational therapist can provide you with an allied health report, which is a bit more of a detailed report. Many employers have the employee assistance program, which can support you with your wellbeing. And then there's a government service called Access to Work who can provide funding and can actually pay for things like cabs to allow you to be at work. So remember, reflect on your abilities, know that you're entitled to reasonable adjustments, communicate really regularly with your boss, and seek out support if you need it.